I wanted to offer Gus the H3 bump, okay?
Damn.
We want to give him the H3 bump. That is the endorsement. That is the gold seal. If you do not know who Gus is, if you're not a fan, here. Now,
there it
you
is.
see, the people respond to the call.
We're bumping.
We're bumping.
Getting
okay?
high on H3.
So everyone who's watching, if you're not subscribed to Gus, first of all, let me just tell you, you'll be doing yourself a huge favor by subscribing to this guy, okay? And even if you don't like him, oh, see, it just went back down.
God damn it, you guys. What the hell?
How did it go up and then down so like how did they collude?
Oh,
They pranked me. There you go.
It was a mistake.
No.
There you go. Oh, hey, what the hell?
How is there such
I'm
huge
getting
swings?
whiplash.
Do yourself a favor for Christ's sake, okay? And subscribe to Gus. Let's get him the bump, guys. Let's get him to 1 million right now. All right.
Thanks for the bump, fellas. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll check back in on that.
Good shit.
So, you had your first anxiety attack. You mentioned to me. Is that something you've talked about publicly?
I can't remember if I mentioned it on my own podcast, the Gus and Eddie podcast. It was like a month ago or so. I haven't really talked on it too publicly. I've never really had like a bunch of anxiety shit to my knowledge before, but like stuff has been so stressful in the last few months, and I know I have super high blood pressure, and I eat pizza for like every fucking meal. That's some good shit, but
We're making progress. I'm going to check back in.
we're getting there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know my diet's not super good, and I had a lot, like my first live show stuff was coming up, but I just got hit like a fucking ton of bricks like a month ago. We were driving to go see Spider-Verse with some buddies, and I just, all of a sudden I couldn't breathe, and my chest was all tight, and I couldn't feel my face, and like my speech was really slowed down like that. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I thought I was having a heart attack or something. So I went to the emergency room and chest x-ray and everything. They're like, yeah, you had an anxiety attack. I was like, shit. And then like the 2 weeks after that, you kept feel it come on a little bit, like, oh fuck, it's coming on, it's coming on. So I don't know what that's all about, but
When I first started having my anxiety attacks, I was like, oh, it's because it's, you know, the food and I don't exercise. So I started like running and changing my diet and everything. But it's not, you know, in my opinion, because I've been through this. It's, it's other issues. It's psychological issues that cause that, not food and stuff. In my, you know, as I understand it.
yeah. No, I think I just got to lock down my schedule stuff. The thing is, like, for years, I've always just sort of barely made it by stuff, you know? Like, I barely got out of high school. I barely graduated college. I think I had, like, a 2.5 when I graduated, like, just tripped my way out the door. So now that, like, I have this built-up, barely making it mentality, but I'm taking on new projects with, like, other people that really rely on me, it's just stressing me out so much more.
Yeah.
It was just so much easier, like, when I was just kind of fucking around back in small town Wisconsin, just like, yeah, I'll make a meme this week. You know, I'll do that. But now it's like, shit, I have people to answer to and people rely on me and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, I hate that so much. But
It takes time.
I couldn't relate more. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a pretty rough week because I'm like Teddy Fresh has grown a lot, and I'm super happy and proud. But it comes with so much work, and like you said, I'm working with people now, so I gotta respond and I gotta be there. And like I was thinking too this week, just when we first started, it was just us, and like there wasn't really
And our product manager.
Yeah,
It was
and
just, we had one employee.
there wasn't really any stress, and I'm like, how did we even do stuff back then? Now it's so complicated.
But now we have 4 full-time employees and we're like more stressed about it.
Oh, Jesus.
But I think I went through kind of the same thing. It's like I always see there's like mental barriers that I kind of hit. There's like new walls that I'm always hitting, and then you got to just push through it and get over it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I think therapy is good because it's hard to figure out what actually is it. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. I think back, I was going to ask you too, like, what were some things that you guys did with, like, earlier on to make money and stuff? Because I was thinking, like, dude, well, I know you talked about, like,
Dude, I sucked dick.
Everything.
Literally, I sucked dick.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them.
OG Fire Festival mode there.
Yeah, I did.
Hell yeah, dude. You know what it is. Because I was just thinking, like, back to, like, what I was just talking about, the easier early days. I went to just a small college in Wisconsin, UW Stout. And I used to I felt like I appreciated little things more and, like, little bits of money and projects with people and stuff. You know what I used to do? it was a few years ago, early on, is I'd get some buddies together for a weekend, and I figured out that through Break.com. Do you remember Break? That just old video sharing website,
Yes,
like
I don't know it.
pre-YouTubey stuff. A dude reached out to me from Break.com like 4 years ago and was just like, "Hey, I'd like to buy this clip or whatever for like $100 or something."
Oh, like,
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
you know, when I was super
Yeah.
small, I was like, "Oh boy, you know, people want my stuff." So I did that, and then I circled back with them. And I was like, "Hey, do you guys? I could just sell you shitty clips. Like, I can just pump stuff out." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, we'll do that."
Wow.
What the big thing for them was like they would always do these prank compilations and scare videos and stuff like that. And he's like, "Yeah, you know, you send us any of those, we'll give you like $50-100 a
Ew.
video."
That's
So what I would
legit.
do,
Yeah.
I would get some buddies together for a weekend. We get like 4 or 5 guys. Get a couple different cameras, like an old shitty cell phone, a DSLR, or like a Sony flip cam, so everything looks different. Everyone would trade out being like the person getting scared, the guy scaring, and the person behind the camera. So we would rotate every variation of these, and it would always be, for me, I was like, I don't want my fucking face out there on these horrible ass prank videos.
Wow. So it wasn't ironic or funny. You were literally just
terrible.
faking being
Wow.
scared.
Yeah, I was just like,
That's
I'm gonna
awesome.
crank these out. So it's
You
always
almost
could,
like porn.
you could have
Yeah,
made a great
honestly.
channel with that.
Well,
Pranks
that's-
were blowing up.
He doesn't own that content
I
now.
don't own it.
apparently.
I said like, yep, exclusive rights. I don't want it. All you boys.
Dude, that's awesome.
So there's probably like dozens of stuff out there that like you guys or anybody else might have seen, like a
That's
prank
funny.
shitty little scare video in a compilation, and it's like me from far away with a ball cap on or something. Like
Wow.
I was undercover with those.
Dude, that's awesome.
So I'd just sell them off and then split it with my buddies, you know?
Yeah.
That beats selling drugs, which is what we were doing.
Yeah.
No, when we were starting to make videos on YouTube and we had like a small following, I started to, I would, for example, sell a sticker pack that I made and
Dude, we were hustling.
like
Were you really?
postcards. And,
Hila was basically a Chinese sweat factory.
and
I
then
don't know if you
yeah.
have seen the Jeff Dunham fuck dolls.
Oh yeah, those little pink
So
Yeah.
flopper guys.
those things supported us back
you
in the
serious?
day.
Yeah.
Hila,
And now that I think back about it, it's like, I mean, we charged $40, I think.
Dude.
And it took me a lot of work.
Hila was spending
Yes.
hours on that day. And then we would take a bunch of them. We would walk to the post office, sit there for hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, I swear
It
to
is
God,
a whole thing.
I would sit there editing, and Hila would be on the couch behind me
Yeah.
sewing Jeff Dunham fuck dolls.
But I loved it, and just the fact that I could make money, any amount of money, doing
Yeah.
that, and not like working as a waitress or as a babysitter. Anything
Miracle.
other than that was amazing to me. So I was,
Oh yeah.
I was like,
We were at home
Thank you.
together. We weren't working with some other asshole. I worked at a day job for 5 years at a desk job. So for me, the same. I was making like $1,000 a month, and I was just like, because before I quit my job, I was working on YouTube a bit. So
Yeah.
I was making like $1,000 a month when I quit my job. But I was just like, that's my rent, baby.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
You know?
Hell yeah.
I agree that everyone's got the good days.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, even your fans, they look back on there was the golden days. Actually, we have several golden day
Yeah.
phases for different
Yeah.
fans. And even I look back and I reminisce, but, sometimes you just got to have a slice and enjoy the present moment.
Yeah. Have a slice and just be nice. That's how it do be. No, I used to.
Are you feeling like you're missing? What is it, like the content? Is it the vibe? What is it that you're missing about the old days?
The thing is, I think a lot of people might agree, hopefully, that in the last 6 months to a year especially, I have felt the proudest of my content. I think it's the best that it's been in the 4 years that I've been doing this kind of full-time-ish. But I miss the peace of mind and the simplicity and stuff,
Just
you know?
simplicity.
It was so
Carefree.
easy.
Yeah.
It was fucking
No
easy.
expectations.
Yeah, like even like going through college, like I had about a year and a half of college left when that first big adpocalypse hit, and I was maybe off of YouTube and Patreon and shirt stuff. I was maybe making like $700 a month. But then it cost me $200 for
Yep.
rent, everything included in my college house. I was like, I get a few
You're killing it.
$100.
Yeah.
Like I can go buy 10 Roma pizzas for $8, Like,
And
I'm
among your
good.
friends, you're probably the richest.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey
one.
guys, I got this round of $2 shots.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like everything was dope. I used to when we moved out for the college end of the semester shit. The dorms all have these donation bins at my college, And all the building managers would tell people, they said, hey, if you want anything out of here, you just dig in, you go for it, you know? But I felt embarrassed, like going in, like taking the food and the electronics and stuff. So what I used to do is I would go to sleep at 8 p.m. and I would wake up at 3 in the morning. I'd grab my rollerblades, go down to campus with a duffel bag and a backpack, and I would be listening to just like podcasts and shit, and I would fill up my duffel bag full of food and electronics and stuff, and then I would flip the electronics in the daytime, be like, hey, someone want a box fan, $5? Or like, and then I had like a year's worth of food and shit, you know? Like that was pure bliss for me, dumpster diving and stuff like that, and just making memes whenever, making $25 on a video or something. Like, I love that.
Let me ask you this, because I often think this to myself.
Yeah.
There's a time, like, when me and Ela were living back in Santa Cruz, that we think back and we have that vibe of, like, oh, man, that was just the best, most carefree vibe. But then I have specific memories that I remember, and I'm like, oh, wait, we were miserable then. You know?
Yeah, you romanticize it.
Yeah.
You
Totally do.
romanticize.
And
Definitely.
it's easier to romanticize too when you look at a situation that seems like it has fewer consequences, because you're like, what happened if I messed up then, you know?
Yeah.
I'll just go wash dishes again at the campus cafe stuff, you know? But also, I was fucking miserable. I was waking up at 5 a.m. making omelets for shitty college kids and, you know, failing all my classes, having to beg professors for grades and stuff. Like,
Dude, I once told a professor, I once told someone that oh my God, dude. This was Isaac's idea, by the way. I was going to flunk out of college for the second time.
yeah.
And
You're gonna flunk.
fail out of university.
college.
And I told them I just found out that this is so fucked up that
Yeah.
I did this. I just remember this. I told them that I just found out my girlfriend has HIV.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
That was Isaac's idea.
Yes. He said to me, that thought never crossed my mind. He goes, you know, I have a friend who did this, and they got an extension.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so I went and I sat in front of the counselor or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I know I'm failing all my classes, but
Oh my
I
God.
just found out my girlfriend has HIV.
Oh, that's a rough one. That, you know, again, the middle ground. You went full fucking cucumber on that one. You could have found like a hot dish or something in between on your.
Oh, no.
You know, hey, my dog died or something. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was the awful thing.
I
just
that now
remember
a
that.
cucumber is the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cucumber.
you went
pizzeria.
full. I went full cucumber.
I had a couple of those shameful ones though, where like.
I'm embarrassed to admit that story.
I hate it. Like the biggest thing for me was like I knew going through college I was so fucking terrible at stuff, especially like getting an art degree. I can't draw, I can't paint, nothing.
Is that what you studied?
Yeah, like they hung it in
What
front
kind
of
of
me.
art? Like
That-
fine?
Well, it was when I went there. They were just like, "Oh, come to this. This is the only film degree in Wisconsin that you can get that's not at the UW Madison."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're gonna be the next Spielberg and shit. But then they go, "Oh, 80% of your classes are going to be drawing and painting."
Oh, interesting.
I was like, I went to my first audio engineering class, like audio design, when I was a junior in college. And we sit down the first day, the professor goes, okay, so we're going to be working primarily with Audacity in this class. What? Like, it's a fucking free program.
Audacity.
The fucking audacity of him to suggest that shit. But like, it was a joke of a film degree. Met so many wonderful people. I was solely responsible for my shitty grades, take full responsibility.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to draw and paint. I couldn't do that shit.
Yeah.
So there were so many times where it's the end of the semester and it's like in one of my like drawing classes or something, I go to the professor and I hadn't turned in a single thing all year. And I just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I fucked up.
I have AIDS.
Like, yeah, I have AIDS. Ethan's girlfriend has AIDS. I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, don't want to sound like an ultimatum at all. The reality is if I fail this class, I don't know when I can fit it in again. I might have to drop out of college. I'm sorry to put that on you.
Whoa.
Like,
Did
genuine.
it work?
Yeah, I had to do that once. And I wasn't even doing it manipulatively. Like, genuinely, I was like,
Wow.
I can't take this class again. I fully fucked up. Help. You know, I had no substance. And they passed me. B+.
They just gave you a B plus.
I turned.
Not even one
That's a
try?
cucumber move.
There
Could give you
that
a
was-
C minus.
That was full cuke. No, it was the man was wonderfully nice. He said, if you can really like power out this next week and turn in some stuff, then I will evaluate your situation. So like I did something, you know.
Wow.
But, I felt
See, that's the difference: brutal honesty and brutal a brutal lie.
yeah, that hurt his shit like a shitload. Because again, it's like I'm not pretending to be good at any of this stuff, but I feel so embarrassed, you know. Because I'm a proud person to some extent, but you have to just crawl on your hands and knees and be
Yeah.
like, I fucked up. Please have mercy. You know?
I guess it's yeah. I had the same college experience, man. It was like I had to do what I had to do to survive.
Yeah.
But I had like crushing. My anxiety was like I was barely I could barely operate through college. So it's a miracle that I, as you say, got. And by the way, I went to UC Santa Cruz, not exactly the most illustrious of the schools, but it's as equally shitty as you described
Really?
yours to be.
Man, ours was not. Yeah, I like the people there. You know, I think the people are what makes any situation. And one thing that I really benefited from was the copious amount of like free gear and stuff that you could check out from the library.
Yeah.
Like I did 3 years of a YouTube channel and I didn't buy a camera, I didn't buy a mic, nothing, because I just
Yeah.
go to the library and they're like,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
They got
how we
everything.
started too. I used to borrow a camera from school.
yeah,
We didn't know how to use it, and all of
Oh
our
my
first
God.
videos had like crazy interlaced
Because
lines, looked like
the-
shit.
Yeah.
The cameras they had were like the complicated ones,
Really?
nothing small and simple. And we had no idea, so it was all wrong.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Yeah, that was mine too, because it was like
Beautiful.
I wasn't learning shit in my camera classes,
Yeah,
so I was
that's
just
fine.
guessing.
Yeah.
I probably have like at least 5 older videos that I shot as a sketch, and I didn't know about like manual and autofocus, where I would check out a camera and be like, "Come on, baby, I hope this lens isn't blurry." Oh shit, well, guess I got to shoot on it. I didn't know about focus, you know.
Yeah.
So just
I guess
figuring stuff out.
we had like the white balance on auto, and I didn't know. And we would record inside the house, and mid like scene, it would start changing completely, all the colors, and we were like, "Why is it doing that? Why is it?" It went from orange to blue. Like, what is going
Yeah.
on?
Because of course everything you're making is a masterpiece. You think you're like, oh, dude, I was gonna be so famous from this.
yeah,
It's
and
just ass.
with
Like
each
the worst thing ever.
With each step up, too, you notice one thing and disregard the blatant bad shit. So once I figured out the focus stuff, I was like, whoa, this looks professional. And that's like the white balance was on like cloudy. Everything was fucking blue.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, but it's crisp.
The audio's like so bad. Yeah.